So you may know this feeling. You waited weeks for an appointment and you finally sit down, and before you've even gotten to your second concern, your doctor's head is already on the door. It's not that they don't care, it's that the clock is the boss. And in midlife, when you're asleep, your weight, your mood, your energy are all shifting at once, there are three things that a rushed clock would most likely get missed. I'm Dr. Lola Ashaye. I'm a board-certified family medicine physician and founder of InTouch Primary Care in Sugar Land, Texas. And I specialize in women's primary, preventative, and menopause care. I help people finally get real answers about what's happening in their bodies. So let's get into it. So let me tell you something I see constantly. It's a new patient. Let's call her Carol. She's been to 3 different appointments. The first one because she was so tired. The second one because her mood had changed. She was not quite as energetic and as excited, or as she just had a flat mood. And the last appointment she went to was because her body had changed. Her clothes fit differently. And when she looked around her eyes, they looked like her eyes were tired. And at each visit, she'll get a piece of advice, a suggestion to sleep more, a mention about an antidepressant, general advice that she could really have found online. And 3 visits, 3 boxes checked, and not once did anyone step back and ask whether all of this might be connected. And that's because connecting takes time, and time is the one thing that none of those visits had. So here's what's really happening. So there are 3 things a rushed visit almost always misses in midlife. And in my practice, these are the exact 3 things that I make time for. The first one is a pattern across your symptoms. So a quick visit treats each complaint on its own. If you have sleep problems, they just focus on that, or mood here, or weight here. So everything is separate. But in midlife, these so often share the same root cause. It could be related to hormonal transition. It could be related to shifts in your thyroid. It could be your iron. It could be your metabolism. So treated one at a time, the connection doesn't seem visible. But when you see together the final picture, it makes sense. So it's very, very likely when things are being rushed that the pattern is missed. The second thing that is often missed in a rush visit is numbers that are normal, but that they're drifting in the wrong way. So a short visit is built to catch disease, not to watch a trend. It spots the fire, not the smoke. So things like blood sugar that is creeping up, but maybe still within the normal range, blood pressure that is slowly rising, bone density and iron levels that are quietly slipping. These are early signals, and midlife is the exact window where paying attention can make a huge difference in the trajectory. But noticing a trend takes time. It takes time to look across the whole picture, and that's something that is often missed in a rushed visit. The last thing I want to mention that is often missed is your history, your context, your goals. During a rushed visit, many of the clinicians just don't have the room to ask, what your days look like, what specific meals you eat, whether or not you've tried certain things, what you're truly worried about, or what matters to you most. What are your health goals? So the advice that comes out tends to be generic, a one-size-fits-all guidance that doesn't really fit you or your real life. Care cannot be personal if there's no time to actually know the person that you're seeing. So these are some of the things that cannot be done in a rushed visit. If any of this is hidden close to home, please share this with one person who's been feeling like a number on the chart instead of feeling like a person, because they deserve to know that the problem is not them. It isn't in their head. It's a clock. It's a system. Passing that along can really, really help them. So you may have thought like, well, isn't that how medicine works now? Isn't that normal? Well, it's common, but common isn't the same as enough, especially in midlife when the picture is genuinely complex. It's important that it's addressed. The way it's always been doesn't have to be the way it stays for you. The other thing that you may think is, it's not my doctor's fault though. And you're right, it usually isn't the doctor's fault. Most physicians are excellent and deeply care for their patients, but many are boxed into a system where there are visit slots that were never designed to have this kind of depth. So the problem is not really the person, is usually systemic. It's not personal. But the problem is that you are in the system, and if you don't take yourself out of the system, you would not get the care that you need. And then you may just think, can I just ask for more time and more tests? And you can. You can absolutely advocate for yourself, and you should. But one thing that I have noticed over time is depth has to be built into how care is delivered. It's really hard to truly squeeze into a slot that was not designed to hold it. So it's not always about just getting more. You may be thinking, well, I just need to if I get more thorough care, it's just going to cost you more. And not always, because when you rush your care, it has its own hidden costs. The cost of repeat visits for the same unsolved problem, the cost of referrals that are unnecessary that pile up, the cost of things that you could have caught early but are now quietly, worsening and now are going to be more expensive. So sometimes giving it time upfront is actually what saves you time and money and pain and suffering down the road. So here's what I want to leave you with. The missing ingredient in midlife care isn't usually a better test, a newer drug. It's really time. It's time to connect the dots, watch the trends, and actually know you. And that's the whole reason I started InTouch Primary Care the way I did. It's a direct primary care practice where time isn't the thing we run out of. It's the thing we're built around. If you've been collecting puzzle pieces from rush visits and nobody's help, we help you put them together. And I'd love to help. You can book a free 15-minute consult at intouchprimarycare.com. The link will also be in the description. And in the next episode, I'm going to be showing you how exactly this kind of care looks and how it works and why it might be the change you've been looking for. And as always, remember that for medical advice, you want to reach out to your own doctor, and so that they can look at your own specific situation. So imagine if you go to a visit where no one's hand is on the doorknob, where there's time to lay all the pieces on the table and finally see how they fit together. Imagine catching the smoke long before there's a fire. And imagine walking out with a plan that was built around your life, not just pulled off a generic list. That kind of care exists. It just has to be designed around time. And if that's the kind of care that you desire, you can reach out to us. And I'll see you at the next time.